What does the boy think? Say, why is it so bright in here, Mom? He's so cute. Are you ornery? Yes. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm excited to be doing a trying new makeup and just getting back to filming. I have not filmed in about 8 days now. If you haven't seen on my community tab or my Instagram, we did actually get a puppy. We got an English bulldog, and I didn't really know how I was going to announce it because I wanted him to settle in, but I just kind of felt like I wanted to tell you guys about it, so I did post about it on Instagram and my community tab. So a lot of you may not know, but we did get a new baby. His name is Roscoe, and I have been in full mommy puppy mode for the last 8 days, literally around the clock, like potty training and just trying to teach him as much as possible. We're working on crate training so I can hopefully get back to filming. You know, he does cry in his crate, and I'm trying to do like enforced naps just so he doesn't tire himself out all day and then he's like exhausted from 5 o'clock on. That's kind of where we're at. So we're working on it. He's adorable. If you want to see more of him, he's on my Instagram almost every day. If you guys want, I may do like a vlog style where I really just show like day in the life new puppy mom and really give you more details about him and how he's doing with Winnie and all of that stuff. But today I just want to play around with some new makeup. I have been missing just new makeup and filming. I've really just been, again, in like puppy mode all day. Literally every 20 minutes I'm outside letting him in and out and in and out, really trying to get him potty trained and just hit hard. That's what we did with our other bulldogs, and they did potty train pretty quickly. So things are going good, but I'm ready to get back into work. I have a ton of products to play around with today. I do have the Pat McGrath Bridgerton collab. I picked this up. I want to play with the highlighter and the eyeshadow palette today. I also have the new e.l.f. brow lift. This is supposed to be a dupe for the ABH brow freeze. Also have the Lawless Forget the Filler plumping mask. This is supposed to be an overnight lip mask. I thought I would just try it on while I'm doing my eye makeup. I also have a bunch of Rare Beauty. So they did send over their new blush shades, and they also did send over 2 of their bronzer sticks with their powder. So I'm going to be demoing this. I have tried the powder like once or twice, but I haven't tried it enough to get my thoughts. Also thought I would continue to try out the Jaclyn Cosmetics products. Really enjoying the blur tint, not loving the concealer. But again, I want to continue to use it. Winnie and the puppy are playing. So if you hear like barking and a bunch of stuff, you know, it's just a little wild in the house right now. And then I also did pick up 2 lip liners from ABH and one of their new satin lipsticks. So I'm just going to play around and really just chat with you guys and get back into filming. So if you're new here, I hope you'll subscribe. I will link all of the products that I talk about today down below in my description box. If you enjoyed these trying new makeup videos, please give this video a thumbs up. Super glad to be back on the grind, and let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so I've got you zoomed in. I thought we would just test out the Lawless Overnight Forget the Filler Lip Plumping Mask. So essentially, this is supposed to be just like the overnight lip treatment version of her glosses, which I love. You guys tagged me on this so much, and I was just like, I'm on it, I'm on it. So this is an overnight lip plumping line smoothing treatment that supports natural collagen production for lips that look bigger and better with continued use. And basically it just says apply generously onto dry lips before bed or throughout the day. So I did use this, I think, one time just during the day. So this is what the packaging looks like. The only thing I don't love about treatments like this is I really don't like to kind of dip my nails in. I am ride or die for my Too Faced Pillow Balm. Like, that's my favorite. The watermelon is my favorite. So I don't know if this would replace that, but I'm gonna go ahead and just apply some. So it's not like overly thick. Actually, it's pretty thin. But I thought we would just get like a feel for it while I do my eye makeup. So it feels really nice on the lips. There's a slight scent to it, but it's nothing overpowering. I feel like it's like a light watermelon scent, possibly, like very, very light. It doesn't give you a ton of shine, and it's not very thick. I'm trying to remember, it's been so long since I've used the Laneige, just because I switched over to the Too Faced. I feel like it's thinner than the Laneige treatment in the pot, but I'll have to keep testing this. I like the scent of it. It's not overpowering, and it does feel good on the lips. Feels a little bit more thin though, and the Too Faced Pillow Balm just really coats the lips. I just want to kind of apply it while I'm doing the rest of my makeup and see if I notice that my lips feel, you know, more hydrated or smoother. I really don't struggle with lip lines. I mean, shout out to my lip filler, but you know, some people want that really smooth look, which I totally get. So now I want to move on to the brows. Because I typically just fill in my brows like this, and then I go in with my Makeup by Mario Brow Gel. e.l.f. came out with their Brow Lift. Essentially, it's supposed to be a dupe for the ABH Brow Freeze, which I've tried. Mine actually looks a little wonky, like it kind of went to one side. There also is a brush with this, so I'm gonna go ahead and use both of these products to really try to get that laminated look. Okay, so this is what the brow tool looks like. It's called the e.l.f. Brow Lift Applicator. It has a small spoolie on one side, and then it has sort of this like little metal piece, I'm assuming to really push the hairs down. So I'm gonna go ahead and just take my spoolie into the product. It's pretty soft, so you're not gonna have to press very hard. Feels quite gel-like. I will say that the ABH one is a little bit sticky. I usually would just brush through. Okay, the spoolie is pretty stiff, which can definitely be helpful to brush the hairs up. Seems to be doing a pretty good job. It doesn't feel sticky at all. So then I'm gonna take this side of it and really push. And I guess we'll have to see how the hold is and if we get any flaking. So far, it's looking pretty good. Am I getting like some sort of a reaction? Oh, okay. So here's one thing I'm noticing, which I've never noticed before. This is interesting and good to know. So I typically do my brow, I underline with the Huda Beauty pencil, and then I fill in with the Benefit or, you know, something like that underneath. And then I go in with my brow gel. It's actually pulling my brow gel like onto my face, which is not something I typically deal with. So you kind of gotta be careful about that. I don't think I've ever experienced that, to be honest. You can see like on a Q-tip, my brow color got like sort of smeared onto my face, which could be a problem if you do your foundation first. So let's see if that happens on the other side, but so far so good. I feel like this is a lighter version of the Brow Freeze. I'm just gonna go around the top just to be safe. Yeah, there's still a little bit. So that's something that I don't notice with my other brow gels. But what I like about this is it's not sticky or goopy, and I'm not seeing any white residue like at all. Now, is this gonna hold is the question. So we'll have to see as we continue on. And it feels like a soft matte sort of feel, but I don't know if I feel like that's gonna hold. Just because I feel like to get that hold, you kind of really have to have it be sticky. But, you know, we will see as we continue on. So I've zoomed you in even more, and I want to go ahead and go into the Pat McGrath and Bridgerton palette. So I don't watch this show, but I know a lot of people went crazy over it. I don't know the premise of it other than it's an older show and there's lots of sex. That's what I've known about it. So, you know, I don't know. I need the drama. I need the drugs. I need the betrayal. I need the murder. Like all that stuff is what I'm into. So I don't know if it's spicy enough for me. But let me know if you've seen it down below. So this is the Mothership Diamond of the First Water eyeshadow palette. So the packaging is really pretty. The thing about Pat McGrath is the shipping just takes forever. And when you are a review channel like I am, it's like by the time I get it, I feel like nobody cares. Like literally nobody cares. But I want to demo it regardless. So this is the packaging looks like. And then when you open it up, you do get 6 shades in here. Now I think this palette, there is a special shade, which is, I forget what they call them, like her astral shades. And I think the pans are smaller because you are getting one of the special shades. So I'm interested to try this out. This is like a true metallic, and this one is that topper and then a matte. I mean, I feel like you're gonna be pretty limited with your, you know, color selections here. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off with this shade right here and just sort of blend this into the crease. So this formula, like I said, I don't recall ever trying from Pat McGrath, but I've only really recently been getting more of her products to try, especially like her eyeshadows. It's a pretty light shade, and I like pink shades, but I know a lot of people think that pink makes them look ill. So I didn't have any trouble blending that shade, but it did need some building up. I want to go in next to the shade that looks quite similar in the pan. Hopefully it will give me a little bit more depth. And I want to, oh yeah, so this one is much richer in pigment. Because I was almost looking at this thinking like, why are both of these shades in here? Because when you look at them in the pan, it almost looks like, you know, they're going to be really similar, but this one definitely adds depth. So I'm just going to go back in with that first brush. So what makeup are you guys excited about? I feel like a lot of new stuff is coming out. Just get so excited about new releases. I know that, you know, a lot of people don't like first impressions. I know you guys like them, and I love filming them, and I just love seeing all the new stuff. So there's been a lot, like the Danessa Myricks cheek palettes I already purchased. And then the Makeup by Mario, the new lip products, they are so gorgeous. I purchased 4. I'm losing my mind. There's just so much new coming out that I'm like, oh my God. So, you know, I've been kind of periodically checking my phone in between puppy training, and I'm just like, I can't wait to, you know, review that. I can't wait to review that. Okay, so to add a little bit more depth, I'm gonna go into this shade down here. Now this is just a traditional matte shade. It is the deepest shade. I just really wish they could get their shipping times better, just because I don't even think my order shipped. It had to have been over a week. It could have been 2 weeks. I really don't have any concept of time right now, but it was a while. Okay, so for the center of the lid, I do want to try this out, but I think I'm going to go in with this first. I just feel like I prefer lashes and a wing and all of that when I do more eyeshadow on myself. I feel like I look unfinished if I don't put on lashes when I do a lot of eyeshadow, and I'm not sure where that comes from, because I see other people that I feel like look amazing, but for me, I feel like with a lot of eyeshadow, I need lashes to tie it in, and I don't know why. All right, because I feel like I can't do this without trying it, I am going to slightly tap on a little bit of this special shade. It's really beautiful. Now the fallout on these are a little intense. She does have her artistry wand, which I love, but I just want to try it as is for you guys. So just do your eyes first, or use like a glitter glue. So I want to try something just to give a little bit more dimension. I'm going to go into that deepest shade here with a pointed brush. This is a Rephr 03, and I just want to smoke this on my lash line. Hopefully by doing this, it'll make my eyelashes look thicker. A girl can hope, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and curl my lashes, and then I do have a couple new products from Ardell. I have the Ardell 3D Lash Magic Primer. So this is basically like a lash primer. And then the Ardell Wispies 4D Building Mascara. I want to tell you guys my favorite lash curler. It's the Laura Mercier. A lot of you have been asking me recently. I've tried this Shiseido, which I liked, but I really just love this one. I don't know, I feel like it works the best, and I really have to curl my lashes like heavily when I don't wear falsies. So I'm just gonna really get in there. So now I'm gonna go into this Ardell Lash Primer. This one looks white, but it's going on the lashes more clear, and it doesn't feel like a lot of product is coming off. It's kind of one of those where I feel like I have to dip back in. All right, so I went ahead and did that. Now I wanna go into the Ardell Wispies 4D Building Mascara. It has one of those wands. It's a thicker wand, but it's plastic. Feels like it's going to really poke the eye here, which is not my favorite. I tend to prefer volumizing wands. Okay, so that's what one coat looks like. I'm actually gonna try to go in with my Lily Lashes XXX. See if I can build up just more intensity, but I feel like that Ardell one gets pretty clumpy. Okay, I might just have to leave it there. So not really loving the Ardell mascara. Maybe I will try the primer on this side with my Lily lashes and see if I like it more. Okay, so I applied 2 coats of that. Now I'm going in with my favorite mascara, which is the Lily Lashes Triple X. Okay, so you can tell me what you think down below, but this is the side with the Ardell Lash Primer and the Ardell Mascara, and then this is the side with the Lash Primer and my Lily Lashes Mascara. I think I prefer this side, but again, I do feel like the primer adds a little bit of clumpiness. I am going to wait till this dries down and clean anything that kind of got on my lid up. And then I'm gonna curl my lashes again and hopefully make them pop. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the face. I'm gonna be using my Tatcha Dewy Skin Cream. I actually, on the sides of my mouth, have like windburn from going outside with the puppy. It's freezing here. It's been really windy too, so I have like dryness like right around the corners of my mouth. I'm gonna go ahead and apply some of my Ole Henriksen Banana Bright Eye Cream. Because I'm going in with that concealer from Jaclyn Cosmetics, it's really drying. So I really want to try to hydrate my under eyes maybe a little bit more than I usually do and see if that helps. So to prime the skin, I am going to be using the Jaclyn Cosmetics Blur Tint. I really like this on days when I really just don't want to put a ton of effort in and I just want to even out my redness. When you start rubbing it in, you feel kind of crazy, like it's not going to rub in. But if you keep buffing, it does rub in. I also like it as a pore primer, which is how I'm going to use it today. So I'm just going to start out, this is light medium, and I'll do half my face so you can see. Now this was just like half a pump. You can just see how it really just evened out my skin. It makes me feel a little bit more confident and it's not very sticky. It definitely has a tap to it, but after a little bit, it does sort of set down. So what I've been doing is just slathering it on like that with a little bit of concealer and then just kind of buffing a powder over it or even just leaving it like this. And I also think that your fingers are your best bet. So I have been using this a lot and enjoying it. So this is what the Blur Tint looks like applied. Again, if you want a little bit more of that evening out, just use more of it. If you just want it as a primer, you could use less. I'm gonna go in next with my NARS Pure Radiant Tinted Moisturizer. I picked up another shade, this is Mykonos, and I'm gonna mix a little bit of my NARS Soft Matte in Santa Fe. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start stippling this over. Just trying to test the Jaclyn with a lot of different products. I know that I really like these two NARS products, so I want to see how the Jaclyn plays with a bunch of different foundations as a primer, different concealers, but I haven't had any issues as of yet. Okay, so now I want to move into the Rare Beauty products, starting out with the Warm Wishes Effortless Bronzer Stick. So the first one is Power Boost. This is what the packaging looks like. It's really pretty. Definitely a warmer shade. And then let's see what the other one is. This is called Happy Soul and pretty warm. I mean, they're both warm. I might start out with the deeper one right here, which is called Happy Soul. I'm just going to take this on the back of my hand and then I'm gonna take my sponge, just sort of dip in. I don't typically like to put bronzer like right on my skin. And I feel like I have this area right here that literally patches no matter what. It does it with powder bronzers too. So I'm just blending this onto the skin. It's blending nicely. So I just continue to put this on my hand and then go on to the skin. This is just my preferred method. Cream products can really be finicky on my skin. So if you struggle, highly recommend, you know, applying like that instead of just applying right to the face. I feel like I always mess up when I do that. Okay, so I feel like I got it relatively blended enough. Now I want to go in with concealer. So this is the Jaclyn Cosmetics Perfecting Concealer. Not a huge fan of this. When I first initially used it, I did say that I had dryness. It just seemed to enhance the dryness. And what I've realized, and I've watched some other reviews, this dries so fast. And the eye that I had a lot of dryness on was the eye that I applied this to second. I don't let my concealer typically sit, but this is one like you cannot let it sit at all. So I'm actually gonna do just one side and then one side, which again is a little bit annoying just because I typically just want to apply my concealer and blend out. I'm gonna be using the shade Light Yellow today. And then I'm immediately going in with my sponge and I'm just using the side that I did not do the cream bronzer on and blending it out. So I do feel like you're gonna have better results with this if you immediately blend. Like I'm talking immediately, which again can be, you know, annoying and finicky to really have to do that. It's a medium coverage, but I really like am not like, wow, the coverage is so insane. So for me, it's just kind of one of those that enhances, you know, my fine lines and stuff like that. And then that mixed with the fact that it dries so incredibly fast and just, you know, looks dry. It's just not a favorite of mine. Before we go in and set with the Rare Beauty powder, I want to use one of her new blushes. So she came out with 3 new shades, and these are her, I think they're called the Soft Pinch blushes. So these are not my favorite, and let me tell you why. I found these to be very hard to use over powder especially, which a lot of cream blushes work great over powder. And I feel like these are almost too pigmented. So I want to go ahead and swatch them for you. The lightest one is Hope. These are just very, very pigmented. And I just remember struggling with them. So this is a really pretty sort of peachy color. The next shade we have here is called Encourage. This is a mauve-y, almost like a purple tone. That actually might be pretty with what we have on our eyes. And then the third one is called Believe, and just deeper. These look pretty similar though. I think I'm gonna go in with the middle shade, which is called Encourage. They did also send over a brush. This is the Soft Pinch brush for blush. So I will try this. If it doesn't work, then we will go in with my beauty sponge. So I'm gonna sort of rub it in before I dip my brush in. Okay, so I've got it on the brush here. The brush feels nice. It's like that duo fiber sort of feel. So I'm going in a little bit more. I'm just kind of working it on my hand so that I don't get too much pigment. Okay, so it's a pretty shade. Let's go ahead and do the other side. And then I may go in with a little bit of that Hope shade. So on this side, I went a little bit more heavy. Let's sort of even this out here. Okay, so this is what the blush and Encourage looks like. I think I'm gonna go in with my sponge and just go around the edges here. And then I think I am gonna go in with Hope. This is just like a peachy shade. Yeah, I like the shade. I'm just more into pinky tones, peachy tones, not so much mauve, but okay, so now I want to go in and set. This is where I get nervous because I'm very picky about the powders I use in my T-zone, but we're going to be trying the Rare Beauty Always an Optimist Soft Radiance Setting Powder. So when I hear radiance, I'm like, I'm sorry, what? Like on these pores. So I have the shade here, Light, which is the lightest shade. It's a soft pink. It says it has a light coverage and a natural finish, but it does say in the title, Radiance. So that's where I'm kind of like, you lost me. So I used this once and it felt very lightweight, but it really wasn't smoothing. I love the packaging on it. And you have this little, again, I've already used it and I should have shut this, but you sort of move this top part back and forth to close it. I should have done that before, but let's go ahead and try this out. Now they did send over a powder brush. I'm actually going to use a smaller brush for under my eyes. All right, so I've got the powder on. This is a BK Beauty brush and I'm just setting like right under my eye here. I crease like crazy if I don't set. So here's the thing. I feel like it sets beautifully, but it does have a radiance, and under my eyes, I feel like I could handle it, but right around my pore area, I just feel like it's gonna do me no favors, and I think that's why I really didn't want to pick it up. I just didn't think it would be right for me. So can you see it has like a radiance to it? So it's very lightweight, but it's not smoothing, and that's why I think I'm not a fan, or I'm just kind of like, ugh. So let me use the brush from Rare Beauty, and I'm going to use this on the center of my forehead. So the brush feels nice if you like to do like a light set, and the powder seems to be going nicely even over that cream bronzer. Okay, so I'm going to push this in around my nose on one side, and I'll show you kind of what it looks like. Because it has that radiance, it's just not a smoothing powder. I just want to compare, so I'm going to go in on the other side with my Huda Beauty powder in Pound Cake and my Beauty Blender Puff. And I just want to kind of compare and just kind of show why I prefer certain powders. Okay, so if you can see and compare, I look a lot more smooth right here, whereas this side, I feel like I look a little radiant, which in turn is causing just texture and pores. And then even like under my eyes, I feel like they just look enhanced. And I think it's just the radiance that is in this powder. So I'm going in on the other side. I hope that I can kind of fix it with my Huda Beauty. I feel like that helped a little bit, but because we've already put that there, it's just kind of the way it is. And then to set over the blush and the bronzer, just because otherwise this is going to lift, I'm going in with my Dior powder in 2 Neutral, and I'm going to use my Beauty Blender Puff just to sort of set this down. But see, I feel like you lose a lot when you do that. You lose, you know, the glow, and you also lose pigment. So for me, I just really like putting cream blushes on top of powder, and I think that's where I struggle with the bronzer part. I went ahead and did my brows, and then I did curl my lashes again. So now I want to go into highlighter. This is the Pat McGrath and Bridgerton highlighter. I picked up the lighter shade, which is called Incandescent Gold 02. Wasn't the other one gold? I wonder what that one was called. So this packaging looks like this. It's nothing really crazy, but I really do like the formula on these. They are the baked sort of gelée texture. It's a little bit more gold than I thought. I really thought it was going to be more like white, but let's go ahead and apply this to the skin. Hopefully it will go with what we have going on. Oh, it's one of those that pulls almost like that green gold. It's sort of like that recent Anastasia Beverly Hills one. In terms of the color, it's like that greeny gold, which I'm bummed about. I feel like it clashes with the eyeshadow palette too, which is kind of strange. Okay, so I just want to try this out. I'm going to go into this lightest shade here in the Pat McGrath palette. I'm just going to try it as a blush. And I feel like I lost intensity when I put powder over that. Yeah, I'm not loving that highlighter color, which really bums me out. I didn't pay attention apparently, so I probably would have skipped it, to be honest. So that works really nicely as a blush. I'm just gonna go over my nose. I have to be honest, I actually like this eyeshadow formula, the baked ones, as blush. I feel like it's a beautiful glow, but it's not enhancing texture. I'd be interested to see her come out with blushes in that formula, just because I feel like it's buildable and just really beautiful on the skin. So maybe that will be coming in the future. I also want to now go in and finish off the lower lash line. I couldn't even think about what I want to do, but I'm gonna go into the deeper shade. I think I'm gonna mix it into this shade and just do a little bit on the outer lower lash line, kind of connecting. So just sort of pulling in here. I really don't want to do too much. And then I'm just gonna blend like very lightly underneath that. All right, to finish off the look, I think I'm gonna use the new ABH lip liners and lipsticks. I bought 2 of the lip liners. I got Cool Brown, and I also got Deep Taupe. I honestly could have purchased like 10 different shades. So this one right here is Deep Taupe. Now this formula is a traditional pencil, and then the second shade I got was Cool Brown, so that one is deeper. I think I'm gonna go in today to Deep Taupe. Okay, that was pretty easy to use. I really like the formula. It's not too creamy, but it's not too dry. And then for the lipstick, I picked up one of these satin lipsticks. So there was matte and satin. So I picked up the shade Haze. The one thing I noticed is my packaging is not, you know, clasping right, which was kind of a bummer. So this is the shade Haze, which is really light. I may have to go in with more of the lip liner. So this is a satin finish, very light smell, Okay, it's a very light shade, which I figured. I'm actually gonna take some of the cool brown. So I'm gonna go back in with Haze. The formula feels nice and creamy. There's no offensive smell or anything like that. I don't know if, you know, this whole color scheme is going together. Okay, just to change the lip up a little bit, I have another product I purchased, which is the Sephora Plumping Gloss. I really like this formula, and I got the shade O2, Outrageous Intense. So let's go ahead and apply to the center of the lips. This has like a minty smell. Doesn't have as much pigment as I was hoping. I thought it was gonna be more, you know, glittery. It is pretty and high shine, but I was hoping for a little bit more of like that pink glitter to it, but I still think it's pretty. All right, guys, so here's my finished makeup look trying new products, and I have some thoughts on the products that I tried today. Let's start out with the Lawless Forget the Filler Overnight Lip Plumping Mask. So far, I like the scent of it. I like how it feels on the lips. I don't know if I would choose this over my Too Faced. I feel like my Too Faced is just more convenient because I don't have to dip my finger in, and also it feels a little bit thicker and it coats the lips a little bit more. But in terms of hydration, it did its job. I just don't know if it's going to replace my holy grail, so I'll have to keep trying it out. I am really enjoying the e.l.f. Brow Pomade, or the Brow Lift. Of course, it's probably sold out. I think it probably went viral on TikTok. What I like about this is the texture of it is not sticky, and I didn't get any residue. I do feel that my brows are held in place. They feel like almost a soft matte type of feel on them. They're not hard or crunchy, and maybe that's the appeal. And I have to say, I think I prefer this one just in terms of ease of use and the fact that it's not heavy or sticky. So I'm excited to keep trying this out, but this was a pleasant surprise. Moving on to the Pat McGrath Bridgerton palette. I think the packaging is gorgeous and the colors in here are beautiful. Everything blended beautifully. Now, of course, you could omit this shade and then just use the topper and it would give you a different effect, or not use either of those and then just use more of this neutral shade. But overall, you're gonna get a pinky purple vibe. You're not gonna have a ton of different options, but I feel like people are gonna buy this more so if they're like fans of Bridgerton. I didn't have any problems blending or using this palette, and I actually really like this formula that to me was new. Maybe I'm missing something, but I don't recall ever using a formula from Pat like this. So I think that I would like her to do that more in other palettes. It's just an interesting formula with no powder kick-up, very buildable, but you could still get depth. And I would like to see that formula in blushes. I think that would be just absolutely stunning. Now moving on to the Ardell. I kind of like this Lash Magic Primer. I do feel like my lashes look pretty good, even though my lashes are very small. So I'll have to keep trying this. It's very dry, but it didn't leave a heavy white residue, so it may be something that would work for those of you that hate that really white residue that a lot of lash primers have. Really not much came off on this. And this mascara, it's okay. Again, I'll have to keep trying it out. Not my favorite brush. I typically like a kind of volumizing brush. This is more of like a plastic one. It's okay, not wowing me, but I would be intrigued to continue to try the primer. Still really enjoying the Jaclyn Cosmetics Blur Tint. I haven't found that I've had any problems with this sitting under any foundation. I've used it with maybe 5 different foundations in the past week. I've also used it alone with concealer. So for me, this is a nice primer, but it also is a nice, I need to get out the door and I just want my skin to look a little bit more even. Not really loving the concealer from Jaclyn Cosmetics. Now I do have to say I've seen some people that really struggled and it looked quite bad on them. I'm wondering if it's because they did use it with this alone, and it is sort of a weird combination just because you would think you would do like a glowy light coverage concealer with a product like this. It's not a horrible concealer for me, but when I look up close, it does look dry. It's very finicky. It's one of those that you really have to apply and blend. You want to do one eye, you know, at a time, and I feel like for most people, I like to just, you know, put my concealer on, grab my sponge and blend it out, and if I can't blend one eye by the time the other eye starts setting, that's just kind of annoying to me. So for me, it's just very drying, nothing really special about it. It just enhances you know, your lines and dryness. So for me, it's just a pass. I don't think it's like the worst concealer ever in my experience, but it's not one that I would recommend to you guys or reach for again. Now, in terms of the Rare Beauty products, I'm actually shocked that the standout for me would be the cream bronzer stick. It was very easy to blend. It didn't patch up on me. It didn't look heavy. The colors are definitely warm, so it's not a contour. It is a bronzing stick, but I actually really like the formula. Felt like it wasn't too pigmented. It wasn't too sheer. The powder, don't hate it, but don't love it in my T-zone. It would be one of those that I would use like on my forehead. I can definitely see that I have a glow on my forehead, and it's because of this powder. This is just one of those that is not going to be the most smoothing. It's very lightweight, so I like the feel of it, but I'm still looking, my stomach just made like a crazy growl. I need to go eat after this. But I'm still looking at my skin, and the side that I used, the Huda powder only, is looking smoother. So this would be something that I would use on the perimeters of my face. So again, okay product, but it's definitely not going to replace my favorites. Now the blush I actually enjoyed this time. The first time I tried the blushes from Rare Beauty, felt like they were really hard to use, and I believe I did use them over powder. I think these are definitely just a cream formula or liquid formula you want to use on an unset face. For me, that's a little bit annoying because I really love putting a cream blush on top of powder. Have to say I really love this brush though, like a lot. It's really nice and it worked beautifully for applying this product. I definitely would recommend never putting this right on your skin. I always say that. I like to put it on the back of my hand and then work it in, but I like this brush and I had a better experience this time with the blush as well, so that's a good thing. I'm not loving this highlighter and I'm so bummed because I didn't realize the shade had that sort of green gold shift. It's subtle, but when I'm looking at my skin, I just don't even feel like it matches with the colors in here. I would have thought maybe more of like a pinky champagne or just a neutral gold. Just not my favorite. Unfortunately, I loved the formula, but the color is a miss for me. I'm quite happy with the two lip liners from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I think people are gonna enjoy these. They're pigmented, but they're not thick. They're not too creamy, but they're not dry where you're tugging, and they don't get as heavy or waxy on the lips. So I like both shades that I chose. Also really like the lipstick. This lipstick is very light, so it's one of those I'm gonna have to use with a darker lip liner, just like I applied the cool brown, just to kind of make the outer edges a little bit deeper. But I really like this shade, and the gloss that I got from Sephora, I like it. I definitely am tingling. It's very shiny. I just wish there was a little bit more oomph to this. When I looked at it, I thought it was gonna have a little bit more of like that pink frosty look, and oh my God, my stomach. I need to eat something. Okay. I thought this was gonna have a little bit more pigment. It really is mostly clear with maybe like a little hint of a pink sparkle. Overall, I really like this formula. It's not overly like hurting my lips, but it definitely has a cooling tingle, and it really is a high shine formula. I just wish there was a little bit more pigment to this. All right, guys, so I think that is everything for this trying new makeup. Let me know your thoughts down below about all the products I tried today. If you enjoyed me not wearing lashes, I feel like I just never am complete without lashes, but I've had a comment or two recently asking me to throw in some videos without them. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I'll continue to try these products, and I have a bunch of other stuff that I need to try. I have a Sephora haul I need to do, so be on the lookout for those. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will link everything I talked about today down below. If you're new here, I hope you'll subscribe, and if you enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.